Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. We're glad you're here. I'm just out checking the mail, and I just saw a nice little buck run across here. So the reason we're here, I just got these new iPad Pro hearing aids, and I'll tell you what, they're pretty nice. Let's get into it review it. All right, so I've had these Apple AirPod Pro 2s for probably a month now, but they just got the hearing aid feature released. Like I said, I've been using them for a few days now, and I thought I'd just bring you a review to see how they work in everyday life for somebody out on a homestead or doing construction work, you know, like some of this farm equipment and other heavy equipment. Then we'll take it in and see if there's any additional conversational benefits to them, which I think there are. And then finally, I'll talk a little bit about what I like about them and what I've noticed about them. I run a lot of heavy equipment and just here on the homestead. And then I've also worked in some heavy noise environments for about 36 years. All right, these AirPods, they work really well for Bluetoothing to your phone. And so basically if you're running equipment or anything, like I said, they're always good for listening to music or also then being able to Bluetooth back to your phone. But let's take a look at them for their hearing aid function. Okay, so when you get these, they come with a charging case. What I've noticed is it takes about 20 minutes probably for them to charge up. And they'll run for about 4 to 5 hours is what I've experienced. So ideally, right, you could wear these pretty much, you know, for 4 hours in the morning, throw them in the case, charge them up during lunch, and then go ahead and use them the rest of the afternoon. Here's something I just now noticed. This case has got a magnet on the back of it. So I don't know if this is real useful to you or not, but hey, it's a magnetic case. To get started with our Apple AirPod Pro 2s and the hearing aid function, let's go ahead and put them in our ears and check them out here. Okay, when you put them in your ears, you'll have this prompt show up on your phone that says, in this case, Rob's AirPods Pro. It'll show you the battery charging, which is 87%. So even before the hearing aid part came out, we had these noise control options, and there's transparency, adaptive, and noise cancellation. And what I found is the transparency seems to work the best for me. But here's the new part, is the hearing health portion. And the hearing protection, I just leave it on. But one of the things that this has that is a new feature that I just got when I updated the 18 version or whatever, but this ear tip fit test. To test the fit of your ear tips, it's got this little test. And I didn't see this fit test until after I downloaded the hearing aid part with the new version of the iPhone. So let's do this. Hit continue. And then we're going to start. And it's playing music right now. That might or might not mess up the test. Okay, so unable to complete the fit ear test because I was talking. So let's do that again. Okay, so it says the right has a good seal, and the left, it says adjust or try a different ear tip. So I'm just going to adjust it and I'm just kind of putting it more in my ear. I tend to put this one more up like that for some reason, and it doesn't seem to work as good there. So just kind of push it into my ear a little bit. Hopefully you can see that. And then we'll repeat this test. Okay, and I've got a good seal now on both the right and the left. And honestly, I was using the wrong size tips for about a month and a half that I've had these because I bought them knowing that this hearing aid was going to come out, and I went ahead and got used to them. And I got a little concerned that maybe they'd become hard to get once this hearing aid came out, because I really think it's going to be popular, especially for people like me with moderate to minimal hearing loss, but that still have to rely on their hearing. All right, we're over in the excavator now, and what we're going to do next is take a hearing test. And I already did this the other day, but just to show you, like I said, we know the tips fit good now, so we'll do the take a hearing test. All right, so this is the hearing test page, and we'll go ahead and get started here in the John Deere 35G excavator. So, are you 18 or older? Yeah. So, let's see. It just asks you a few questions. No. No concerts. Next. Okay, and it'll tell you that find a quiet place where you can focus and take the test. So it just tells us the do not disturb will be on during the test. It tested the fit again. So let's go ahead and move to this test, and I'll probably fast forward through this, but. So they're going to play tones at different volumes and frequencies. And we just hit the button when we hear a tone. And if you've ever done these tests, I had to do one every year for work. They can be quite a pain in the butt. The excavator is the best place I've ever taken one, though.
Hey everybody. So the hearing test, it plays 3 little beeps, and if you don't hear them, it repeats them, and you just have to hit the screen when you hear that beeping.
So we're done with the left ear, we're moving to the right ear, so hit next. All right, so the test is complete. Let's check our results. Okay, so the left ear, it says 21, whatever dBHL is, little to no loss. Right ear, 23 dBHL. So I don't know if 23 is better or worse than 21, but again, it says little to no loss. And then here it says, your test indicates little to no hearing loss. There are certain frequencies that may be harder for you to hear, and I know for a fact that some of the high frequency sounds are just dropped by me. So basically, it looks like the left ear, I don't know, was there. I don't know what this chart means, but at least they look fairly similar. So left is average, it says. Right is also average. All right, so let's move along. All right, so let's talk a minute about my reasonings for wanting these hearing aids. So I had listened to a lot of loud noises over my career of 36 years, and I think sirens are one of the worst things for your hearing. And when I first started, hearing protection wasn't a thing really. And then, not to mention, on all of my days off, I'd always be operating heavy equipment or other loud items. And then I had this little hobby of, we live out in the woods, and occasionally there'd be loud noises, like right before a deer jump maybe or something. So shooting sports have been a big part of my life as well. So like I said, all that time, hearing loss is cumulative, they said. And so like I said, I'm kind of paying the price for it now, but I'll tell you what, these Apple AirPod Pro 2s with the hearing aid thing, I think is exactly what I needed. All right, so now all I need to do is make sure the hearing assistance is on, and it is. So there's the hearing aid feature. So according to the AirPod Pro 2s, I have minimal hearing loss.
There's no way that's true. Not to mention it's hard to say AirPod Pro 2 fast.
I know. I've said iPad, but it's the AirPod Pro 2s with the hearing aid test that we're reviewing, or hearing aid function.
Yeah, well, it was a little light on his amount of hearing loss.
Well, whether it is or not, the big thing is what I noticed at work the last several years is if there were 3 or 4 people talking, I had to really concentrate on what the person I was trying to listen to was saying. Like I said, it would be easy to lose points of the conversation. All right, and one of the things I realized during the pandemic was that when they required everybody to wear masks, I realize I read lips an awful lot. And so hopefully we never go back to some kind of mass situation. But whether we do or not being able to read lips shouldn't matter so much now that I have this hearing aid in these Apple AirPod Pro 2s.
Say that fast 3 times.
Yeah. Another item was, I didn't know if hearing aids would help me or not. And after using these this is the 3rd day now, they do help me a lot. But I was never going to spend the $3,000 to $7,000, $8,000. Right?
Up to 10,000.
I mean, hearing aids are expensive. These were $200 when I bought them on Amazon, and coming with this free hearing aid, it's hard to beat.
Yeah, it really is. It's very, very nice that he can hear better now.
I'm in the skid steer now, and this is what I wanted to show you that I couldn't figure out earlier. So every time you do a hearing aid test, or a hearing test with this, it'll actually save the results. So November 7th, I did one, and it was said still little to no loss. Right here, little to no loss. Today's November 7th. November 5th, I did one, and same thing, little to no loss. I noticed the numbers are a little different, but it still says little to no loss, which, I mean, I'm not going to argue with them, but I do know that I can benefit from hearing aids, and this hearing aid has benefited me at honestly a reasonable price. I liked, these ear pods anyway, and just for the Bluetooth connectivity, but the fact that it's got a hearing aid really helps. So I'm here in my skid steer, and anytime I use this heavy equipment, I end up using ear protection. And one of the things I really like about these is these ear cups fit right over these AirPods. So I can use just my regular hearing protection and don't have to rely on the electronic hearing protection as much. One of the things that I did notice that's kind of funny about this is when I start this skid steer up with the hearing aid on, it makes the engine noise actually louder, amplifies it, where if you leave the ear thing open, it actually makes it quieter. So I think what it's doing is it feels like, because of this is on there, that you're not hearing as good, so it turns it up. I don't really know. But what I found out was I just go ahead and turn off the hearing assist when I'm running equipment with this thing on. That way I can listen to my Bluetooth music, and if my phone rings, I'll be able to answer it. All right, and then as soon as we're done running the skid steer, just go to settings and turn the hearing aid back on. One of the things I really like about this helmet and these ear muffs is it keeps, while you're working, it keeps one of these things from falling out of your ear and losing it too. So that's the problem with regular hearing aids, not just these AirPods, but I'll tell you what, you don't want to throw $100 away. Something else that I've noticed since wearing these AirPod Pro 2s with the hearing aid function is, I have ringing in my ears pretty much every day for the last, I don't know, seems like 10 years, but at least five or six. And I can still hear it like right now, but honestly, once I turned on the hearing aid function, I think it's because I can hear so much more. Like I can hear the leaves rustling around out there and the wind blowing pretty good. And I didn't hear that well before, but what I always had was that constant kind of humming. I don't know what the best way, it sounded like a static thing, that ringing in my ears all the time. And that was pretty annoying too. Like I said, it's still there, but with the new hearing aid function turned on the AirPod Pros, it's much less noticeable. So I won't say anything like, she'll like it too, but I'll tell you what, to me, it feels like it helps that as well. And nothing else I've tried has done that. Here are a couple of settings. And again, I like the transparency mode. And then if you go to the hearing assistance and open it up, Now then, you've got adjustments here. And so let's open the adjustments. Here is your amplification, and you can play with that wherever you want. I like to keep it kind of in the middle. You've got balance. If you had a lot worse hearing in your left ear, you could turn that up higher versus right. Then on the darker tone, tell you the truth, I'm not sure what that does because I move that back and forth. I don't hear a lot of difference, so I just kind of leave that in the middle. This ambient noise reduction, I do notice differences with that, and I kind of like that in the middle too. But you can pretty much get out all, like if you got a, say, washing machine or something running in the background, you can end up getting that almost totally gone. And like, I know some of the older people that have actual prescription hearing aids, and they say that's one of the things that they don't like about them is the ambient noise that they hear. You know, they're hearing things that they haven't heard for years, and they don't really like it. And Conversation Boost, I do like this. I turn it on, and that way if you're talking to somebody and there's a lot of other people talking, like in a restaurant or something, you can hear the person you're trying to talk to a lot better with Conversation Boost on. If you get these settings all messed up and you have no idea what's going on, you can simply reset all of them back to the defaults. So that turns your Conversation Boost off. It puts your ambient noise reduction to less and pretty much keeps everything else in the middle. So those are some of the settings. It's got a media assist deal. You know, it adjusts your music and video, adjust calls and FaceTime. I don't use FaceTime. But anyway, that's the thing. And then if you want to see your hearing tests, you can just simply look at this and it shows you the hearing tests that you've taken. Pretty cool. Okay, something else about it with the charging case, whether you think you're going to need to charge your AirPod Pros or not, keep your charging case in your pocket while you're using them. And the reason is, if you leave this at the house and then you go out and start working out, say for me, out by the mailbox, I'll keep getting alerts on my phone that says I left this behind. And you know, it's not a big deal, but it's like, I know I left it behind. I've got the things, I don't need the case. Just put the case in the pocket. It saves you a lot of annoyance. It is a really good feature though, if for whatever reason you set this out like on a table while you're having lunch or something. Like I said, if you do forget and leave it someplace, it'll let you know pretty close to right away. Well, that's my review of these iPad Pro 2 hearing aid. Like I said, I like it a lot. These things, they work great as a Bluetooth AirPod anyway, but with the hearing aid function on them, I'll tell you what, these are next level. And at a fraction of the cost of what actual hearing aids would cost you. So if you like this content, give us a like and let us know in the comments what you think of these if you've got them or if you're considering getting a pair. And finally, we invite you to subscribe to see more. Have a great day and be safe.